Hey guys, I'd like to start this video off by saying do not expect any weed jokes. I repeat, do not expect any weed jokes. And with all that said, I'll be attempting to speak English from Timu. So, goedemorgen, goedemiddag, goedenavond, goedenacht. Hallo en welkom in de video waar je vandaag zal slapen met je moeder.
Smoke weed every day.
Eén vader. Or in the alpha male language of the free, American. Welcome to the Netherlands, and welcome also to the first ever video on this channel. Give yourself a round of applause. Anyway, I did a thing. And treated myself a birthday gift by going solo to the Netherlands. A small country in Europe with an average sized history and a massive distance from the ground, also known as height. Well, they gotta somehow be able to breathe when the country inevitably drowns of the constant raining. And climate change, of course.
I am under the water. Please help me.
Speaking of help, let's have a word from our sponsor.
Better help me reach 100k subscribers by the end of the year, thank you very much.
So other than the language they speak there, what is the Netherlands famous for?
50% sea, 50% me.
Van Gogh being the most cyclable country, Stroopwafel, Coastline, tulips, and being blitzkrieg into oblivion twice. Oh wait, that's Belgium. The Netherlands has never been on my radar of places to travel alone to, because I'm a very good boy, and I wouldn't ever go to a country where they're famous for escorts and the devil's lettuce. And second, its history didn't really interest me much. Until
Everything changed.
the day I was born, plus 22 years, because I went to Amsterdam on a $1 million ride with a personal driver that I was oh so kind to share the space with 100 other people, also known as flying a commercial airliner. So, I got in the plane and flew high. Get it? And as I am flying, let me give you a brief summary of the history of the Netherlands and Amsterdam. It all started in Asia, where its fabric was used since the Neolithic age in China and Japan. It is unclear when it first became known for its psychoactive properties. What the hell am I reading? Oh. Anyway, it all started when some of the OG stoners, the Neanderthals, who lived there back in, well, the Stone Age. But fast forward to after the Ice Age, hunter-gatherers from the Swifter band culture, also known as the first Swifties, moved in. After them, some other irrelevant cultures who were leveling up the tech tree settled in the area.
When you find yourself in a hole,
Back at around 800 BC, the Celts were in the area procreating and expanding their influence until in 650 BC, Northern Europe experienced what also was an ancient version of climate change, which triggered mass migration of the Germanic tribes from the north to the lowlands, which some of them later evolved to the Frisians.
Maar dat versteer ik niet.
And here's a fun fact that I learned recently. People in Friesland on average have 2.1 bikes per person. And you might be wondering, what would a person do with 2 bikes? And if you're American, what would you even do with 1 bike when you got cars? Well, according to my source, 1 bike is for going to school and the other is for going to parties, because there's a pretty likely chance that the party bike gets stolen. Also, the party bike can as well be used by a friend who needs to borrow it. So what is the 0.1 in the 2.1 about? It's for the university students whose parents live separately so that they can have 1 bike in their mom's house, another in their dad's house, and another in your mom's house, and another bike in the town they're studying in. Anyway, back to the history part.
In 650 BC, Northern Europe experienced what also was an ancient version of climate change, which triggered mass migration of the Germanic tribes from the north to the lowlands, which some of them later evolved to the Frisians.
Followed by what every man was thinking about for centuries, other than ass, tits, and a bigger dick. The Roman Empire. The area of what is now considered the Netherlands became a military outpost for the Romans until the western part went, "It's not your fault, babe. It's me," to the eastern part, so they broke up, which left the western part broken and vulnerable to outsiders. So the Netherlands entered its Ho era, being under the control of different empires in the Middle Ages, because it's submissive like that. From the Franks, which led them vulnerable to the Vikings, to the Roman Empire fanfic, Netflix adaptation, and royal families like the Burgundy. Then everyone's favorite keep the bloodline clean family, the Qin Empire. Oh, sorry, I meant the Habsburgs, ruled the country when they intermixed with the Burgundies, which didn't went smooth sailing for the Protestants. During that time, the Dutch fought for independence from the Spanish in the 18 Years' War, first led by William the Orange, who they're very proud of, by the way, under this flag. which later turned into the flag they are known for today, which looks oddly familiar. Even though they were at war, the country entered the Golden Age, creating the first ever mega company in the world and having founded New Amsterdam, which is today known as New York. And with the power of the Dutch West India Company and the East India Company, they did what every other European superpower at the time was good at: colonizing and slavery. The 80-year war ended in 1648, in which the Dutch independence was officially recognized. They were also not
Scared for the boom boom.
as they went into war with France because, well, nobody likes the French. But sadly, even after all the exploitation of their colonies, they still managed to go broke, which led them into losing from a French guy, which inspired Belgium to do their own thing in the process. Fast forward a couple of years, when the Friar Nation attacked a handsome Austrian fella just run through the country in World War II after staying neutral in World War I. After World War II, they decided that they were done with their colonies. Maybe it's the other way around actually. Everything went happy ever after. And now the Netherlands has turned into what my boss likes to call the Mecca of the stoner community, that also happens to be known for prosecuting war criminals, their dams, and their not at all offensive Christmas celebration, and being a great destination to move into for Greek programmers who don't want to serve their country.
Did you serve? No, serve the country.
And now you might be wondering, why I haven't told you anything about Amsterdam yet? Well, dear viewer, that's because I forgot. As I entered into Dutch airspace, I was surprised by the flatlands that fell flatter than my non-existent As I arrived, I took the train to check into my hostel, and then I immediately took the metro to explore the center, with the actual destination being the De Holland food court, because I was getting kinda hungry. Before I get out of the train station, I want to shout out to the Uit gang out there, because without you guys, I really wouldn't be able to get out of the Central station. First thing I see as I got out of the Central station is a yacht level 1000. But I'm too asexual for that shit. And since I'm not gonna make any weed jokes, I saw the beautiful canals that are basically the water to the earth of the city. Because the fire in the air is the smell of the burning zaza that fills your lungs in every other street. Across the canal from the central station was a Oude Kerk, which is the oldest building in Amsterdam, founded in 1213 AC, which happens to be a church. I roamed around seeing even more picturesque canals, so I decided to make a detour and follow along this canal instead of following the actual route to the food hall. I kept walking for a minute, seeing people walking including happy families with kids, until I noticed a lady with very big eyes that invited passerbys through the window, and as well as what seemed to be a cinema entrance, saying "Live Shreks." And that's when I realized that I was in the red light district. Damn, am I saying it too loud? It was way more beautiful than I expected, but damn, I'm too asexual for that shit. So I found my way out of there, where I ended up in Dam Square, which was pretty damn impressive, if you say the least. There was even a national monument dedicated for the remembrance of World War II. And then there was a palace, which, fun fact, the Queen of the Netherlands is Argentinian. I hope she's not related to a famous Austrian painter.
Yes, Queen! Slay your enemies! Ruler of...
And speaking of Argentina, why the fuck are there so many Argentinian steakhouses in the city? After so much walking, I actually started getting hunger debuffs. So I sped around through the streets, taking a picture of every other interesting thing I find, until I reached the De Holland food court.
Great success.
Which also hosted this very cute academy and the Young Bloods. In the food hall, there were so many stalls from different parts of the world, including Greek food, so you can enjoy your tizay as well. But sadly, I won't be trying that because I always believed that the best way to get to know the country is by trying their food. So I went to the stall with my stomach growling and I ordered some Vietnamese food, which I don't even remember the name of. But it didn't fill me up well. So I ordered a Dutch hot dog from the next stall, which had truffle mayo with fried onion bits on top, which was the best thing to enter my system, for real. Anyway, after the food, I took the metro and went back to the hostel and had a lollipop and binged Avatar Paradise on TikTok.
The next avatar will be a female earthbender that looks like a Sami.
Yummy.
What?
Hello, everyone.
Next day, I went out at 8:30 in the morning, which was the death of me. So I searched far and wide on Google Maps for a cafe near the house I was visiting, and I found the Greek cafe, and it had every coffee you could get in Greece, including a couple of staple ones like Freddo Espresso and Freddo Cappuccino. But most importantly, they had Sparkopaita. Like, what? in the Netherlands? Exacto, may politismo, and yet Thessaloniki doesn't have a metro. I think now it's perfect opportunity to tell you about the history of Amsterdam. Because unlike other Benelux cities, people here actually settled later than usual due to the land being wet as fuck. In the 12th century, it was originally a small fishing village on the banks of the Amstel River, which the city got its name from Am, meaning river, Stel, riverbank, and Dam. Because damn you cute.
Picture perfect, you don't need no filter.
And yes, that beer brand. It became a city in the 13th century where it was granted city privileges. Its strategic location helped the city grow like when a guy touches your legs. Or a girl. I don't know. Hasn't happened. The city became the spot for trade during the Dutch Golden Age in the 17th century and became the Jeff Bezos of cities. Because it was so good in trade, finance, and the arts. Well, I don't know if Jeff is also good in the arts. And by the way, the canals were also built during the 17th century, which contributed to Amsterdam's economic boom, making it the wealthiest city in the world during that time, and as well as creating the world's first stock exchange. And how do you know that you're in Amsterdam and not any other Dutch city? By seeing triple X's throughout the city. No, literally. They're in their flag, which are apparently St. Andrew's crosses, or they might be from a coat of arms from the Perzine family, or they might be representing the three plagues that hit Amsterdam, namely water, fire, and plague. In the 19th and 20th century, Amsterdam continued to grow, integrating various municipalities and modernizing its infrastructure. The city faced as well challenges during World War II, including occupation by the No-No Germans and the persecution of the Jewish population. Which brings us to the house I was visiting, which was of a little girl.
FBI, open up!
Calm your tits now, FBI! I was visiting Aunt Frank's house.
Somebody wanted to have sex with her dead.
Oh my god! But before that, I had to take pictures of this art installment across the canal because it was kawaii. Kawaii desu ne? And then I queued up to enter the house, which I highly recommend you go if you ever get the chance. But you should book your ticket 2 weeks prior because they get sold out quite fast. Anyway, I get into the house and I already did make a huge mistake of not getting an audio tour guide because everyone got one except of me. I didn't take any photos because it was an experience that I wanted to remember only by memory and by the emotion it evoked me. Because once you stepped foot inside the actual house, you could feel the very heavy atmosphere that Aunt Frank and all the people hiding with her had to endure. I even went through the secret entrance to their hideout and learned about some measures they had specifically taken to not get caught, like covering the windows and flushing the skibidi toilet in specific times of the day.
Brother, this guy stinks!
I really want to tell you more about Aunt Frank, but I don't have any pictures to keep your guys' attention. So while I was getting some souvenirs, a friend of mine sent me a TikTok of an art exhibition going on. So I immediately booked the ticket and ran.
Why are you running?
It was really good and very mesmerizing. The movie was at least an hour long if I remember correctly and had James Bond type music while it was showing art from Gaudí and Dalí, which reminded me a lot of my trip to Barcelona. So if you want to see it, make sure to like and subscribe, and there will be so much more videos coming up from this channel. I think I should be a professional YouTuber. There was also another room where I was basically watching a POV of Spider-Man swinging from building to building in a minimalist dystopian version of New York. I tried taking some photos alone, but my Watches app was crashing, so I decided to enter the photo booth, where I instead took photos alone in the photo booth. Which sounds sad, but it is.
Not.
After the exhibition, I saw a family of ducks walking around. Maybe they're responsible, who cares? And I saw the greened out Temu version of the Statue of Liberty. Just how Dutch is the Temu version of England. Anyway, I took the bus and through the window I could see that I passed by Beijing.
Was that Beijing?
Bing chilling, bing chilling. But it was in the process of being conquered by a Dutch fleet, consisting of one boat. Then I passed by India to visit Gandhi's Plantsosen, whatever, which was built right after he nuked every empire, which brought us back into the Jurassic ages. Oh my god, I'm in Nazi Germany, what the fuck? Oh hi Hilter. Yeah, whatever. 911 are an insider job. I was basically in this museum. I won't even try to pronounce the name, but it's basically the Dutch World War II Resistance Museum. As if I haven't had enough for World War II today, but nevertheless, after almost being indoctrinated by all the propaganda posters, I never had such a lust where I wanted to kiss the communisten. And speaking of Kommunisten, I just received a letter from Joe Biden, which says, replace all political leaders with beavers. Very base, thank you very much for your kind words, sir. There was a lot of things to digest in the museum, but at that point, my brain was fried from speedrunning 3 different museums in a day. And what a way to cure a fried brain with some fries with truffle mayo. Who said the Netherlands doesn't have good food? After getting filled up, I got into the metro station and found some proof that Dutch is just brain rot language. Like, who the fuck decided to write shit like this unironically? Anyway, there was a concert that I was attending to with different Eurovision artists singing their songs. What is Eurovision? How dare you not know? Sorry, I must have snapped. It is basically a European song contest and it's nothing like Idol, you stupid Americans. You might recognize this song. But I specifically went for a goofy guy in a green bolero. The next day, which happens to be my final day. No, I'm not dying. It's just my final day in the Netherlands. And before I speedrun another 3 museums, I needed to grab some green stuff. And no, not weed. Matcha. And something to eat that I don't remember the name of because I have no photo evidence of it existing. I literally can't remember what I ate yesterday. And you guys expect me to remember what I ate months ago? Anyway, my first stop was in the Moko Museum, which apparently thinks that I'm the person of the year. Some noteworthy things in the museum were a stoned guy with COVID, stoned Nikes, stoned quotes, and a stoned black Nikes, as well as a heart with dead butterflies. I don't know if it's vegan or not. I should ask. And last but not the least, the TikTok light rooms. Wow. 9 out of 10 plus 1. Would recommend. Got out of the museum and I was already in need of a snack. And there's one Dutch snack that I haven't tried yet. The stroopwafel. And I kid you not, it's the best breakfast cookie that anyone could ever ask for. It had waffle and honey. And I would literally trade being a virgin for the rest of my life for a world where this exists. After I filled me up once more, I needed to go in the same area as the previous museum, but of course, a cabron had to stop me. I went inside the Stedelijk Museum, which was overloaded with art like this dilbo. Maybe I should have not shown this. Then I had to go to the last museum of my trip, but not the least, the Van Gogh Museum. Which, to be honest, it was worth every penny just because of Van Gogh Evie. And now I can myself peacefully, knowing that I saw this beautiful painting. There was also a Snorlax and a Munchlax and the Sunflora one. And yeah, the Smeargle one as well, because why not? I'm definitely not forgetting anyone here. Anyway, I saw some of Van Gogh's letters, painting, a painting, more of his paintings. Is this cyanide? And even more paintings. Painting? I got to the first museum at 9 and left the last one at 5. And it was getting late. And I was getting hungry again. But before food, I had to take a photo of the moon. Because I recently learned that the phases of the moon in Greek is called Munara. So you guys should comment down below which is your favorite Munara. Now, let's go to the food. I decided to grab some very local food from a Caribbean restaurant where I ate some corn fritters, pandan flan, and I might have been jerking some chicken. I mean, I ate jerk chicken. Seriously, all the wait in my life has led into this moment, and I can confidently say that I'm in love with Caribbean food. Which no one in the history of the world would ever say to British food. I later roamed around the city for the last time, and I really wanted to thank Amsterdam for having me there. But they didn't have to send a choir to sing me goodbye. I'm gonna lose the non-existent support of the Dutch because of all the weed jokes I didn't make. Oh, brother! But to be honest, Amsterdam is the greatest city I've ever visited in the lowlands. Not that I've ever visited any other. I kind of vibed with it, and the food was great, and the canals got me thinking, why don't other cities rally rivers nearly as much? I would like to go visit Amsterdam again because I feel like there's so much more to see, but next time I wouldn't go alone again. As if saying that I traveled to Amsterdam alone once wasn't bad enough. Imagine saying that you have done it twice. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I thank you for watching this slideshow of my trip. And if this video does well, I'm gonna continue this series of my travels around Europe. And for that, I would like to close this video by saying... Welcome in Europa, jongen! Okay. Post-war Amsterdam experienced rapid growth and modernization, becoming a center of culture, higher education, and tourism. Today, it is known for its historical heritage, vibrant cultural scene, and progressive social policies.